up front, I do think that 40th anniversary special edition is going to be the most valuable to shoot for. We've seen this before with the FJ Cruiser Trail Team's Ultimate Edition, right? So that was a numbered vehicle with the one of 2,500 on the plaque on the inside of the dash there. But the difference between that Trail Team's Ultimate Edition and this 4Runner 40th anniversary special edition is that Trail Team's Ultimate Edition was no kidding, the Ultimate Edition of the FJ. It was put on the best possible package that the FJ Cruiser ever saw within the United States. You know, the upgraded suspension throughout it, just everything was the top tier on that particular FJ. Whereas that is not the case with the 40th anniversary, right? So we know that 40th anniversary is being put on the SR5 premium grade. So it is kind of, some of you voiced your opinions on this, and I kind of agree. I see your point. Some of you are like, why didn't they put that 40th anniversary edition on the highest spec 4Runner? Why didn't they put that on the TRD Pro? And I kind of get that. Part of me agrees with you, but also part of me likes the fact that they did put it on the more simplistic SR5. Because what is that doing? What is Toyota saying by doing that? They're putting it on, you know, a very simplistic version of the 4Runner. They all share the same exact 4-liter V6 tied to that bulletproof 5-speed automatic transmission. They all share that same, the core, like the guts of it, the important bits of it. They're all made in Japan, so they all have the same important components, right, at its core. So I do kind of like the fact, and I understand the fact of Toyota putting on the SR5 just because it is the most simplistic platform that they could have done that for. And I think truly that is Toyota at its core. That is Toyota at its roots. You know, less is more, right? Less frills, less bells and whistles. And you know, just the SR5s are very capable off-road. Sure, they don't have the Fox TRD tune suspension, right? They don't have the flashy hood scoop, but I do think it was a wise decision. And I do think that 40th anniversary special edition is going to be the most valuable because it is a numbered vehicle, right? Granted, it's not as rare as the FJ Trail Team's Ultimate Edition, but I do think, you know, it's more practical than the FJ. There's no blind spot within it like you find in the FJ. And look at that FJ right now. If you were to try to find a low mileage-ish Trail Team's Ultimate Edition, you're looking at paying, when I say low miles, I'm talking less than 30,000 miles. If you were to find one from 2014, only offered that year, with less than 25,000 miles on it, you're looking at paying $55,000, $60,000, $65,000+ for it. And that's crazy, knowing that the original MSRP was right around 40,000, right? So that's pretty crazy. And I do think that you can expect that same exact return on that 40th anniversary. So you buy it, maybe put 30,000 miles on it, so 25,000 miles over the next few years, and you'll still be able to at least sell it for what you paid for it. I'm expecting it to come in right around $50,000, maybe even a little bit less of a price tag. Because keep in mind, it is still based on that SR5 premium grade. So I think a lot of people were guesstimating like 60 grand. The TRD Pro, technically that MSRP is 54,000. The trick will be trying to find, you know, an honest dealership who isn't going to milk you with an ADM on it. So I can already see them licking their chops trying to take advantage of people, which is pathetic. I can already see it happening. But if you happen to find that honest dealership to offer you MSRP on it, that's absolutely the way to go. And you will enjoy a great vehicle for several years and not lose a dollar, in my opinion. That's assuming they don't offer something even more numbered or even more rare the following year, right? Because that can dilute the water a little bit, but I don't foresee them doing that. But it also begs the question of, do you get that over the 2023 Solar Octane TRD Pro? So let's pretend that 23 is for sure going to be the last year. So I got a guy weed eating behind me over here. So let's pretend that 23 is the last year. There is always tremendous value in aiming at the last model year, production year for a generation vehicle. So if it's the last year offered for the 5th generation 4Runner in that exclusive TRD Pro color of Solar Octane, it will be almost equally rare and equally valuable moving forward compared to that 4Runner, the 40th anniversary edition, in my opinion. You know, it being that last one will always carry a level of significance, especially in that TRD Pro exclusive color, Solar Octane. So, and not to mention, for the same exact reasons, because the next generation, the 6th generation 4Runner, is going to have a lot more bells and whistles, a lot more safety, I shouldn't say a lot more, but more safety features added onto the Toyota Safety Sense, more frills within it, more luxury bits, I'm sure, right? So bigger infotainment, more screens, more electronics to break. And we are getting further and further away from what Toyota is at its core, and that is simplicity and reliability. The more electronics you throw in it, the chances of things going wrong are going to go up substantially. And most notably, most importantly, is the transition to the turbocharged 4-cylinder variant, which we can expect, right? They're not going to continue to roll a very thirsty, larger displacement V6 like they have right now, the 4-liter V6. They're not going to roll that over into that next generation. We know that for a fact. It's old and archaic at this point. Will that next generation have better performance numbers? Absolutely. It's going to have way better fuel economy, way better torque, horsepower, but whoop-de-doo. People who buy the Toyota 4Runner and Tacoma, Toyota enthusiasts appreciate reliability over everything. They would rather spend a few dollars more, I guess maybe a little bit more than few, but they'd rather spend more money at the pump than wasting time with recalls and wasting time at the shop getting things fixed. And I think I can comfortably say that for 9 out of 10 Toyota enthusiasts, Toyota buyers. So you're going to lose out on reliability, no matter how they paint the picture at the beginning. They'll claim that it's going to be this ultimate platform and amazing numbers, amazing figures, and people get wrapped up in that. Unfortunately, they'll get wrapped up in the horsepower and torque, but that doesn't matter. You shouldn't buy these vehicles for the super performance levels, right? Even the Toyota Tundra, the previous generation Tundra up until 2021, the V8, the 5.7 liter V8, the same V8 that's in the Land Cruiser, super thirsty. We're talking 13 to 15 miles per gallon on a good day with a tailwind, but even that, it did everything you needed just fine. For 9 out of 10 people or more, it could tow anything that you needed to tow, assuming you weren't hauling horses around every weekend and just assuming you didn't run a farm, like you were going to be good for 9 out of 10 people for whatever you need. It can tow a boat, it can tow plenty. But some people just, when they keep hearing they want to get the best numbers, the best tow figures, best everything, and then they get wrapped around the axle for that, and then they find themselves in a high-performing vehicle that is far less reliable and a lot more complicated, right? And whenever you add a turbo to any engine, you are adding more stress to that engine. You're making things work at a higher velocity, higher speed. You're forcing it to work harder, which is going to be phenomenal for your first 100,000 miles, I'm sure. And people are going to trick themselves into thinking they bought the best vehicle in the world, but then things are going to start crumbling. And we've seen that already with the wastegate on the 2022 Tundra, right? The hybrid. So we're seeing already issues with that. Granted, you can expect that with any brand new model year, brand new generation, I should say. Whenever there's a new platform with a new engine transmission combination, you can always expect some level of issue with it. That's been like throughout the history of time. And then Toyota isn't subject to that too. We all know that. We're seeing it with that 22 Tundra. So all this to say, the 5th gen 4Runner, if you're able to get that last TRD Pro model, and especially in that TRD Pro exclusive color, you are perhaps making the wisest decision financially when it comes to a vehicle. And vehicles are never investments. Right, so let me make that clear. So many people are like, well, yeah, you shouldn't be buying these vehicles for the resale. You should just buy them until the wheels fall off. So many people say that, but let's be real with each other. Most people, they'll say they're going to buy it and run it till the wheels fall off, but they don't. They buy it and they drive it for 3 to 5 years, like most average Americans, and then they trade it in for the next best thing. Even though I shouldn't say we all, you guys know me, I don't even claim this, but a lot of people claim that they'll buy it and drive it till the wheels fall off, which makes a lot more sense when you're buying a GM product or a Ford, or A, the wheels fall off sooner, and B, you lose a lot more money in your resale. So it's easier to justify in your own head to keep the vehicle that you already put all this money up front into, and you're not getting it back in residual. Whereas Toyotas, you don't really have that issue more often than not. So we kind of get that luxury. We're a little spoiled for sure. So the 5th gen 4Runner, I recommend the 40th anniversary special edition as the #1 draft pick if you're trying to get the best deal and best resale value, and you know, that heritage piece that I think will be desired for years to come, as well as the TRD Pro in the exclusive color. I think that's a runner-up to the 40th anniversary. So will I be trying to get one? Haven't decided just yet. If I do run into an opportunity to get one at MSRP without totally pulling my hair out for it, I will jump on it, I think. So more to follow on that, of course. I would still keep the Tacoma here. I love having a truck bed, and not to mention, even though this is going to be swapping out for, I shouldn't say swapping out, but the 4th generation is around the corner. You know, even though the transmission is lackluster and this 3.5 liter is kind of weak, the simplicity is kind of dirty, but the simplicity of this interior is still very much Toyota, and I love that. And even in the 22 Tundra, we've distanced ourselves from this simplicity, and I think, at least me, maybe I'm just old school at this point. Maybe I've been brainwashed. I don't know, but I really love just how simple this is. I'm sorry, I said simple probably 100 times now, but I love this. Nothing more than you need. Nothing too complicated. Not 7 different driving modes that you can click through like the Raptor. Just you get in, fire it up, and drive and enjoy it. So, all right, guys. I think I have meowed plenty in this video, but let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you're going to be considering that 40th anniversary and why you're going to be shooting for that, or if you're going to get that new TRD Pro. Let me know what your thoughts are. Appreciate you watching as always. Till next time.